Elected, what would your administration do to address the ongoing opioid epidemic?
I just left a drug treatment center in northern New Hampshire before I came here. I was the chairman of the President's Commission on Opioid Crisis and Drug Abuse. And in my own state, we set up all kinds of new programs to deal with this problem. Here's the first most important thing. Drug addiction is a disease. It's a disease like heart disease, like diabetes, like cancer. It needs to be treated like a disease. Every life is precious. And people who make the mistake of falling into drug abuse, become addicted, now suffer from a disease that can be treated. We need to make treatment much more broadly available all across this country. Second, we need to keep talking about it because there's a stigma attached to it, as you know. People are afraid to ask for help because they don't want to admit that they have this problem. But if, God forbid, you had cancer or heart disease or diabetes, you wouldn't hesitate to ask anybody about it, right? And talk about it so you could get the best treatment and the moral and emotional support that you need to work your way through the crisis of disease. Third, on my first day as president, I will sign an executive order to send National Guard to the southern border with the sole task of interdicting fentanyl. 110,000 overdose deaths last year. It is now the leading killer of men 18 to 34. And this poison, by the way, it is being sent to us by the Chinese through the Mexican drug cartels. I would make it very clear to the president of Mexico, you've got 6 months to get those drug cartels under control. And if you don't, I will use the American military and the American intelligence community to bring those Mexican drug cartels under control. And also, agenda item with the Chinese will be, stop sending these chemicals over here. It's war. You are committing acts of war by sending those precursor chemicals to these drug cartels because you know they're being sent to kill Americans. You do that, we'll respond in kind.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Governor, you were in law enforcement. Where do you draw the line between criminal conduct and the drugs that are driving the criminal conduct?
Profit. Look, if people are drug users and they become addicted, we don't accomplish anything by sending them to prison. Because let me make sure you know, the drugs get into prison too. And addicts stay addicts when they're in prison unless we do something to change that. In New Jersey, one of the things I did was change the criminal justice reform, allows us to close two prisons. One of them we reopened as a drug treatment prison so that folks who were in the state system who had a drug problem could get treatment in the last year of their sentence. So when they came out, it lowered the recidivism rate by 30% for those people and restored their lives. But the people who were making a profit off this, Adam, we cleared out those other jail cells for them. You're going to make a profit at addicting and killing our citizens, you're going to go to jail for it. That's where I draw the line.